All right, you guys, welcome to the next episode of Spiritual Practices. Today we're going to be talking about Reiki. What is Reiki and who should practice Reiki and what it actually does as a spiritual practice, what it helps us to do and to achieve. So when we talk about Reiki, it's a very ancient practice where we're really constant. All these practices are existed from the beginnings of times. We keep reinventing them and giving them different names, but and the ancestral knowledge within us knows that it's something that is sort of a very natural for humans. It's how we connect our bodies to universal forces. It's a practice where a Reiki master, so you actually need a master, a spiritual teacher, to perform this practice on you. And the Reiki master acts as a channel for universal life force energy, so the chi energy, to channel it from the universe through their body to your body, to specifically usually most Reiki practices focus on the energy points, so the chakra points, so to balance, to heal, to remove blockages, to literally insert this life force energy into your body. And before we go into the why, I just want to mention that yesterday's episode will really tie sort of into Reiki practice, because although yesterday we were talking about body movement and it's something that you can do on your own, and there's so many different body movement kind of practices that you can choose for yourself, the objective is to heal, to harvest the chi energy, to move it around our body, to balance our energy body, our energy points. So Reiki will have overall a similar effect. It's just that you do have to go to a Reiki master, and it's obviously a different practice. You just lay down and relax and make Reiki master works on you. So what are the benefits? We've already mentioned a life force energy is channeled through a healer into your body. Usually a good Reiki master should be able to look into your energetic field. It's going to depend on what kind of Reiki master you work with, because it's a very individual thing. So maybe we can pause for a moment so I can explain this to you guys. If you follow me, you maybe have watched a video that I've done. It's available on my YouTube in a spirituality and healing playlist. Comparison of awakening of a kundalini and awakening of a mind. So awakening of a kundalini, it's a bit of a rarer thing that happens, and people who go through it are people who open as a channel, and usually they end up being spiritual teachers and live a life of service for this world. Whereas awakening of the mind, it's something that anyone can go through, and some of these people can also end up being spiritual teachers, but they're going to operate in a different way. So you can, for example, work with a Reiki master that is also a channel, right? So I, for example, am a Reiki master. I don't offer this as a service, but whenever I do Reiki on a special people or myself, I just channel, I just feel into, I see, just like when I read cards, I'm going to have visions, I'm going to actually see the energy around chakra points of a specific person. So if someone is an actual channel and a medium, they're going to have their own ways to feel into your energetic fields, to read your energy, and their own practices to perform that healing. And if someone is one of those people that awaken through the awakening of the mind, they may use certain tools. They may use rods, they may use pendulums. It's often used in energy healing as well, in energy work. They may introduce some sound healing, some shamanic practices. My universal belief that I shared with you guys, and it's something that I believe in and I myself preach and practice, is that when you truly are meant to be a spiritual teacher and a healer and work with people on those permission slips, spiritual practices, you have to be able to reach inwards to your ancestor knowledge, to the knowledge of your soul, to the wisdom of your soul, and develop your own ways. This is why I always teach you guys to remove the labels, to remove the strict definitions of this logical world, this logical mind. So a good Reiki healer, a good Reiki practitioner overall will be someone, a Reiki master, that will pull as a channel that life force chi energy to heal your heal, balance, regulate your energy body, your chakra points, your energy points, and work with energy. And how they're going to be able to do it, so you can choose a practitioner that does something that resonates with you. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. We develop our own ways as healers that are a combination of our qualities, of our psychic abilities, of our gifts, of our ancestral knowledge, wisdom, and our lineage, right? Just a side note. But going back to what Reiki actually gives you, so we've talked about this. It harvests chi energy, it balances your chakras, it cleans your chakras, it obviously clears your energy body. It removes the blockages from your body, and it attunes the Reiki master is supposed to help you to attune your chakra points and achieve sort of a perfect balance. They should be able to see into any blockages, any stagnant energy, any unhealed traumas, any cords, energetic cords that are trapped in your energy body. So either in your specific energy point, that's how it usually happens. The sort of a center of that is our sacral, so our womb chara space, or your energy body as well. What's around you, what's within you. They should be able to sort of see into that and help you to through that. Who can and who should practice Reiki, in a sense of go to a Reiki practitioner? Obviously, if you are meant to be a Reiki practitioner, the Reiki will call you. I always teach you guys this, and I love highlighting this to you guys, especially those of you who want to be spiritual teachers, or you're on a path towards being a spiritual teacher, you already are a spiritual teacher. Your craft always calls you in. It calls you in. But if you are thinking and considering to going to a Reiki practitioner, anyone can do it. The only thing you need is the openness to receive. So if you are someone who is in a logical mind and like, oh my God, I've heard this nonsense of Reiki, so let's see what's it going to do to me. It's not going to do nothing. Because if your mind is closed, similarly to people who come with this mindset to tarot readers, right? And any kind of spiritual practitioner. If your mind is closed, if you don't really believe that it's going to do anything to you, it's not going to do anything to you, because your energetic field will remain blocked and will remain closed. So you have to have the openness, right? As you come to this session, I always say if you are choosing to work with a healer, there should be a first session, a bit of a get to know you introduction, so you can feel into the energy of your healer. This is why, again, I say this to you guys, this is why most healers have some sort of a platforms, websites, social media where you can get to know us. So you have to really feel that this is my person, I trust this person, and then you come to a session. You lay down and you just open, you make an intention. I open to receive this energy. I trust this healer, and I release and I surrender to whatever is going to happen in this session. So that's first requirement. And my belief, and again, it's something that I preach to you guys, is whatever spiritual practice you will embark on and you're going to do, you need an understanding. Right? So I oftentimes, see that people come, for example, to Kundalini yoga, or they come to Reiki, and then when you start a conversation with them, they have no idea. And again, I'm not saying this as a judgment. There is no judgment, right? We all are here on the learning curve. but it's good to really understand. So don't just go to Reiki because your friend goes there after her Kundalini yoga and she says it's amazing and you're going to try it too. Really understand, and good Reiki master should be able, a good Reiki master should be able to give you a bit of that introduction. If you just come on a session and you say, listen, I don't really know much about what Reiki is, can you introduce me to what it is and what's your process? So they should be able to tell you exactly what I told you in this video, and then tell you what practices they use. So for example, if you would come to me, again, I don't offer Reiki sessions at this point, but if you would come to me, I would explain to you everything that I've explained in this video, and then I would just add to it that I'm a medium. So during that session, I'm going to hear messages from your guides, I'm going to see into your energetic field, I'm going to use some shamanic practices, I'm going to use some sound healing practices, and this is how we're going to work through through that session. So understanding of what's going to happen and what it actually is meant to happen, with no expectations and releasing expectations, it's really really important. And the final thing that I want to mention, as I mentioned with many of these practices, some of these practices are core work that is needed if you truly want to understand the meaning of life and be spiritual, just label. And some are complementary, sprinkle. So when we talk about Reiki, this is a complementary, very powerful, extremely powerful practice, beautiful practice, but nonetheless complementary. So when you come to a Reiki healer, a Reiki master, even if this is a great Reiki master and you're going to be there every other day on session, they're going to work with your energy, they're going to cleanse your energy body, they're going to look into your chakras, they're going to balance your chakras. If you are not doing in between session work that addresses the root cause of the imbalances within your chakras and energy body, they're going to constantly return. And my belief, again, it's going to be very individual, but my belief is that a true good Reiki master should let you know. So if I was to have a session with someone, let's say I do practice Reiki and I step away from doing shadow work, right? After a session, once someone is already back into their conscious mind, we would sit down, have a little tea, and have a little conversation. So for example, in today's session, this is what came through. This is the blockage and the wound that I was feeling into around this energy point. Do you realize that, we may have balanced it a little bit, we may have cleansed it a little bit, but if you do not address the root cause, where it came from, it's going to come back. It's going to come back to this imbalance with any trigger, with any situation, with just the passage of time. It's going to come back because we need to remove the actual root cause, right? So a good Reiki healer, in my opinion, is not just someone who does work on you, crystals, pendulums. Again, the different healers use different tools. And then you get up and they're like, thank you, namaste, see you next week. There should be a conversation to explain what is it that they saw, what is it that came through, what is it that was done, and what may be the possible root cause for you, for food for thought, right? And obviously, if you're someone that you're already balanced, you've already went through your inner work, and this is just something that you do periodically, right? So let's say you go to a Reiki healer once a month to like a deeper cleanse of energy body and attunement of your energy point. There may not be big things to address and to talk about. But still, if I would have a customer as a Reiki master that will come to me, and I know that this person is balanced, very self-aware, very, done their inner work, but they come to me and suddenly I feel that there's a little bit of this imbalance, let's say in their heart space, right? Or some quite low vibrational energy cords attached to their sacral. I would still sit down and I would say, did anything happen in that last month can we talk about this? Can we also address this? So this would be ideal. If they're not a shadow worker, if they don't do inner work, they don't necessarily have to have an expanded conversation with you, but just a flag what actually happened, what was done, where the this imbalance is, and be able to sort of guide you and help you navigate a little bit. All right, that's all I had to say about Reiki. We have 2 more episodes to go in this series. If you've missed the previous ones, you can watch them on my TikTok or Instagram, or if you go to my YouTube, there's a separate playlist called Spiritual Practices. You can find all these episodes in there. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow.